you know, it's not just a story of creationism versus evolution. In my program note, I noted that in the first 8 years of this century, the whole idea of what a fact was in dispute. In fact, the administration would talk condescendingly about the reality-based community. So, in a lot of ways, that's what this play is about: the reality-based community and the faith-based community. So, I mean, it's an ongoing dialogue I think, in American culture, and probably will be forever. So, which means this play is always going to be relevant.
And I also just want to mention that, as Michael said, this is a play not just about what it's obviously about, the discussion of evolution and the discussion of, you know, objective reality, but its role as a classic play, or its features as a classic play, go, I think, much deeper than that. When you think about, many of you, if you had absolutely, positively nothing to do this summer for one evening, may have turned on C-SPAN and watched one of those town hall meetings that were taking place, and saw the kind of mass hysteria that can take place when someone decides that if I speak loud enough and often enough, what I say becomes the truth. And I think that the play has something to do with that as well. And we had this lovely meeting last week that has nothing to do with the play, but I'll just briefly say that it was about the Pittsburgh representative of the Dramatists Guild came to Cleveland to talk to playwrights here about joining the Dramatists Guild and about Cleveland having its own representation in the Dramatists Guild. And you might be wondering, what does that have to do with Inherit the Wind? Well, the main reason this woman came to Cleveland was because the G20 summit was taking place in Pittsburgh. And she lives in Pittsburgh, and she thought to herself, I want to be out of Pittsburgh so badly, I think I'm going to go visit Cleveland. The lovely sights of Cleveland and the wonderful weather of Cleveland. So this play is also about a town that doesn't really see itself as being a particularly important town, and all of a sudden something very, very important is happening there, and someone very, very famous is attaching his importance to this town. And so that is something that starts to color what the truth is as well. So this is a play whose relevance, I think, is much, much deeper and much wider than just being a discussion of evolution, and so that's something that I think makes it a very exciting play as well. The last thing I just briefly want to say is that I know there are a lot of people in this room who are working very hard and very diligently to make this a great production, as you do on all of our productions, and who also may have varying degrees of familiarity with the script, and who are religious, and who attend religious ceremonies on a weekly basis, and who may have mixed feelings about all of the discussion that's taking place right now. And so what I want to tell you is that if there is any discomfort about it, I would suggest finding a copy of the script, which of course in this building is very easy to do these days, and read the final scene, the scene that takes place after Brady is carried off the stage, a discussion that takes place between Hornbeck and Drummond that I think, after everything else that's taken place in the play, and after everything else that we've discussed just now, may come as a little bit of a surprise. There is a lot of room for religious belief, I think, and also understanding that evolution is such a widely accepted theory. It's as accepted as perhaps the theory of gravity, where if I threw something up in the air right now, it is very, very, very likely that it'll come back down in a few moments. I think everyone pretty much agrees about that, and that's about as much of an accepted theory as evolution is, and yet it is possible, and in fact quite easy, to maintain a belief in God and an understanding that evolution is a widely accepted fact and not just a theory. And so I don't want anyone to feel ill at ease